If you tackle the difficult things first and stay with them and drill them, then the easy things will come last. And to give you an example of that, we were recently doing some studies of intervals with my students out at the California Institute of the Arts. And, I'm showing them things like thirds. Do I have sound? Turn myself down. So we'll do third. We'll do fourths. And then I'll say, okay, let's combine the two. And then I have this puzzled look. I say, well, I'll just play thirds and then fourths. And then they'll get that. Or sometimes they won't. They'll go. And I said, no, you missed the third one. Oh, let's try it again. I said, oh, okay, no, go back. So this idea of if I go back to the beginning, it's going to make that part that I mess up correct. And it's not like that. What's happening is you're going back to the part that's comfortable and easy, and you're avoiding the part that's difficult. So what I do is I make them start here and make them realize that you were playing a fourth here and not a third. So play the fourth, play the next interval, play the fourth. Now start over again. And then they get it. So even I do that. I'm practicing something like Nova Iguazu, and I have to remember that it's C minor, B flat, A flat. So it's C minor, B flat, then A flat. But it's not an A flat scale. I have to make sure that I honor that. So it's C minor. And quite often I'll get to the part that's difficult and I'll just blow it off, and go play the stuff that's easy, And so I've learned over the years, you have to really spend time and work on as a matter of fact, my current concert symphony director specifically tells us practice the difficult stuff before you get to rehearsal. Rehearsal is not to rehearse your individual parts, it's to rehearse the entire group, to work on dynamics and movements and transitions and stuff like that. So I thought that makes a lot of sense. Your time at home is your time to practice. Your time with the group is the time to become a group and work on things that benefit the total sound, not your individual sound. So basically saying, don't waste my time, work on your stuff at home, So one of my practice tips is to warm up, and I usually warm up playing scales. And I like to play scales from the lowest possible note to the highest possible note on the instrument. So instead of playing C major, I'm going to start from the B string. And so forth. So that's helpful because it prevents you from only getting to know a certain scalar movement in a specific part of the instrument. And if you practice it that way, when you go to play live, that's probably how it's going to sound and where you're going to almost like restrict yourself to that area. So I always say get to know the entire fingerboard and work on the parts that are as difficult as the parts that are easy. Another thing I like to do with my students and also with myself is to practice a thing I call groove therapy. And I'll have my students take a few minutes out of their classroom time, and I'll say, I'm going to play some percussion loops, and I want you to pick one. So I'm using GarageBand, and I'll name all the loops in the percussion category, and they'll pick one, and then we'll loop it for 8 measures. Then I'll say, okay, let's do the same thing with drum loops. And they'll pick a drum loop it, and then we'll combine the two. So the one we're going to use today, because I always put their names next to them, we'll use Caroline's groove. She's one of my female students out at CalArts. And this is what her loop sounds like. Oh, no, we can't use that one. We're going to use Michael's groove. Michael's one of my USC students. He's pretty, actually, I was very impressed when I first met him. He knows a lot about the instrument, and one thing that's great as an educator is when you see a student who just has that sparkle in their eye that really loves what they're doing, and they always practice what you tell them to practice, and they come prepared, and then they want to show you stuff, and that's what I like about Michael. He always has some things he wants to show me. All right, so here's simple drum groove with a percussion pattern. And so I'll say, you know that C major scale what we worked on? He says, yeah, I know it. Do you know it in every key? Oh, yeah. And he usually does. So I'll say, okay, let's play it in A flat. And then I'll say, Michael, pick a syncopation. And he'll say, I say, you're thinking about it too long. Say, play this. Da, dee, da, 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 da. He says, okay, I got it. And I said, all right, let's play that A flat major scale. 2 octaves using that syncopation. 2, 3, 4. Very easy. He gets it. You know, we're both smiling because he got it. Then I say, okay, let's pick another pattern. Let's pick a pattern that uses an odd number of notes, which I know in advance is going to throw off his being able to land on the downbeat of every note. So I'm going to say, let's pick a he'll say, okay, I got it. 1,